You know, the argument...
No, but Arnab,
rules are public. They are not made by private people.
Tehseen, I find a general direction to this argument.
Arnab, just a minute.
No, I find a general direction to this argument.
I agree with him, but let me carry forward on that argument. If nobody disputes General VK Singh is a man of absolute honor and integrity, he's the one who's questioning this as a matter of honor and integrity. His honor and integrity does not come from the fact whether he was born in 1950 or 1951. His honor and integrity comes from the fact, and the army's integrity comes from the fact, how they carry on the political will of the government and how they carry on their army performance. It does not come to what year they was born. So this is a personal issue with General VK Singh, as himself said. Then why is more time being focused on this issue rather than the issue of how our army needs to take itself forward?
Okay, brief intervention from Admiral Bhagwat, and then we are going to...
when you accuse somebody of lying, it is a matter of honor.
Oh, may I just say one thing?
Please,
for the last 8 months,
we cannot have our army. We cannot have our army
for the last 8 months. For the last 8 months, people have led a campaign. Stories have been planted. Attributions have been made to the Ministry of Defence.
There have been people.
What are we saying?
There have been people in the media, retired army generals coming on TV and talking about the army chief. This can be a two-edged sword. This is a very dangerous precedent, Arnab. This is a very dangerous precedent. As a civilian, we don't want our army questioning our elected government. This is a very dangerous precedent.
Do you know?
I'm sorry.
Colonel Call. Colonel Call goes next. Colonel Call.
The elected government.
Colonel Call, please.
I have allowed everyone to speak. Give me a chance.
Go on.
Mr. Poonawalla, the army is no longer insulated as it was 40 years ago. Today there is a satellite in every village, every other rank, every JCO, every officer is aware of what is going on a daily basis. This gentleman, when he took over as the Chief Army Staff, made a statement that he wants to clear by introspection and clean the audience tables of the Indian Army which had been sullied. When he went after the big fish, and where I object to Air Marshal Ahluwalia saying that honor and integrity is only at the captain and major level, what happens at the senior level? You become dishonorable. There is a situation which has arisen because of certain vested interests playing against this gentleman, and he has only taken recourse to law. You are talking about a chief leading an army in war, squabbling with the government. You made him do it unnecessarily. This could have been resolved. Nobody would have been the wiser, because the AG's branch, from the time you join the army to the time you die, and even after that, is there a quality? Hold on, let me finish.
Let him complete. Yes.
Let me finish. Hold on.
Yes.
The AG's branch, from the time you join the army till the time you die, and after that, is the repository of all records, and corrections can be made only in AG's branch. The MS branch has no jurisdiction. This is a figment of imagination brought out by some ludicrous chap in MS branch in connivance with the suitable chap and the MOD, let's not talk about a Chief Army Staff fighting the government. It is a gentleman fighting for his right, which is the matter of the day, and it has caused a lot of heartburn.
Then why doesn't he step down?
It has caused a lot of heartburn across the length and breadth of the army. Mr. Poonawalla has no idea what he's talking about.
1 minute. I want to.
I am talking as a civilian. Maybe.
No. You see. 1 second. 1 second. First of all, you know, when it comes to logic and fair play, there's no civilian, there's no ex-serviceman. You know, tonight we are talking generally on what is right and what is wrong. And the question which goes is
Arnab, I'm sorry. There's a different code of conduct. There's a different code of conduct laid down for us from the time we are 15-year-old.
I respect that.
There is no question of.
Sir, I respect that.
Therefore, we are working towards that.
I respect that.
Right through service, 40 years, we do not flinch. We do not flinch from that code of conduct.
1 minute, gentlemen.
Anand, I have a point.
Gentlemen, 1 minute. Not all at a time. Let me come in, please. Let me put in specific questions because I want these questions answered.
Yes.
No, my specific question is this. My question is to Air Marshal Ahluwalia, who's given a patient hearing, and I know he wants to rebut also to the Colonel right now. The question is this, that please tell me, on a broader perspective, Air Marshal Ahluwalia, why is this becoming a question of civilian government military relations? oh, it will shake the power equilibrium in the country. By taking the matter to court, you know, it will become a fight between the government, civilian, military relations. It is an army chief who is aggrieved taking a matter to court. My question is, what if the government loses that battle? Then what happens? Well, surely the government is aware of that, because it's not as if the general has no case. Factually, the general has a case. So, I mean, the government also is doing an immense amount of brinkmanship, isn't it? Marshal.
Well, Honor, once again, I repeat, the question of General V.K. Singh and his date of birth, I think, becomes a secondary issue when you look at the macro level, and that would be the discipline in the armed forces and the kind of higher levels, echelons of our national security. If they start getting into a conflict situation amongst themselves, it becomes dangerous. The discipline in the armed forces depends on how much of respect you have for your seniors. If you do not get justice, or you feel or you perceive that you haven't got justice, sometimes you've got to swallow it in national interest. Otherwise, you are indicating that you have lost confidence in your superiors. Well, and if you have lost confidence in your superiors, then you should, by all means, first put in your papers, clear the way, and then go to court and get your kind of justice that you so are looking for.
Well,
now, these are issues, these are, Honor, just a minute, Honor, these are issues that are going to affect the armed forces for a long, long time. The armed forces have been dragged into an unsavory controversy like this, and in the minds of the public, I think it is not a good thing for them to get into this. No. I personally feel it could have all been avoided in the larger interest of the country.
I want to settle a simple question tonight. Simple question. Simple question. I take your point. You feel aggrieved there are several documents, etc. Simple question. If this question is answered, Admiral Bhagwat, then what will be settled the question of General V.K. Singh? And any of you can answer it for me. The strongest argument that the government puts, the strongest argument is, when General V.K. Singh became Chief of the Indian Army, which date did he accept at the time of his elevation to Chief of Army Staff? And as far as I know, he signed on 1950, and the then Secretary of Defense, Vijay Singh, recorded this. So why dispute it now? Now that argument will also be asked by the court. Any of you can answer that, but you want to have a first go, please. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, the facts are not correct. Mr. Vijay Singh, followed by Mr. Pradeep whatever Kumar.
Yes.
They were party
to this
manipulation. No, it's not subjective. It is not a question of the army chief accepting. It's a question right from the word go of the military hospital at Pune.
So
and thereafter successive.
No, then why did he not? Simple question. So why did he not?
Argument has just been led that somebody may be violating or maybe on the thin line of discipline. The question is, the government has to go by discipline.
But that's not the point, sir.
The government has to go by law. The government has to go by rules.
I didn't get the right answer to my question.
The government cannot be arbitrary.
No, but that is the question. The question which I have asked is the question which will have to be answered very directly, because you see, there is. I'm sorry to say it very clearly. The army chief is being indirectly accused of a number of things.
Yes, indirectly motivated.
And one of those things which he is being indirectly accused of, General Bakshi, please tell me this. The government says, of course, nobody says anything in public, nobody says anything on record. Off record, the government says, ask the general that when he became army chief, what was the date?
Isn't the law minister somebody?
No, but he doesn't comment on the date.
He does. He says.
He doesn't say 1950.
I don't think anybody believes that he has misrepresented the fact. General V.K. Singh has not misrepresented the fact. He is not telling the truth. Nobody believes that.
Are you reading into what he said?
Reading. No question. This is his statement. You can read it.
No, I can read it. But on this statement which you are telling me to read, he does not exactly say that the chief.
Exactly that. There are no facts which are contested in this case.
Answer the question.
Where is the date of birth?
I take your point. I take your point.
It has come from India today.
Okay, I take your point, and I'm going to ask General Bakshi to come in on that. General Bakshi, this is the question which will have to be answered. When he became chief, what was the date he agreed?
The key question. Look, the key question is, in law, you cannot have an estoppel which is not based on fact. It will not stand scrutiny in court. He was pressurized. He was emotionally blackmailed to
Arnab,
say
let court
that you are
decide those
stopping
facts.
the
Let
line of
court decide
succession,
those
that you are
facts.
stopping coming in the way of the promotion of all the other people whose names are there on the board. We will resolve the issue later. The key question is, the Ministry of Defence had ordered a court of inquiry on the age. It was recorded in writing. Why was that not held?
So why?
Because Mr. Julka, the Joint Secretary, had said the General's acceptance is not unequivocal. There are many ifs and buts that he has put into it. He's saying, I am obeying orders, but I would like to know this. Please read the letters in which these so-called acceptances have been given. And please read his last letter on the subject.
How can
it is very clear that he was extremely unhappy into being ordered to accept the day.
1 minute, gentlemen, Tessie. 1 minute, Tessie, coming to you.
No, I am sorry, Arnab.
1 minute, hear the other side.
And the image of the organization. And number two, off is this thing. But Arnab, I'd like to make another point, if you give me the time.
Go on. Go on, Tessie, I will come to you after the General finishes, please. Yes, go on.
Yeah.
Arnab, it is a matter of perceptions. You see, Kaul very rightly brought out, here is a chief who started his innings with a concerted effort to root out corruption. By taking such an obdurate stand against him, what message are you giving to our rank and file? What message are you sending out to our junior officers? Not only should you be honest, but you must appear to be honest. For God's sake, there are a whole lot of military deals in the pipeline which are going to be worth crores. The army equipment is going to come in. Do you want to give an impression that you could not stand
but that argument can be
honest chief?
But how does that argument about army deals hold? No, how does the argument? How does the argument about army deals hold? Is that to say?
That's a very wrong argument. Are these generals now saying that, or are these people of eminence now saying that the government wants to remove General VK Singh because they want to indulge in some sort of corruption? I mean, this is ridiculous. Are you now going to sit on judgment? This matter is in court.
I mean, those are the perceptions. Those are the perceptions that you are giving. I'm sorry, you just can't shake your head and say it's ridiculous.
As a civilian, we are aware of the fact.
No, you civilians understand very little actually.
1950.
This is not.
I'm sorry?